So for assignment W4.5, create a script for your user interviews. Just want to walk you through a couple things, talk about it a little bit. And I talk about this obviously in the first couple sentences here, but just to explain it briefly, the idea here is to make a plan and script out exactly what you're going to say when you have your user interviews. It is difficult to be consistent from one interview to another if you don't have a solid plan. And so the script is a way to hold you to what it is you're trying to accomplish. I have a link here to a Google Doc, and it's a usability script, not a user interview script. So the template that I'm showing you isn't necessarily exactly what you need to do, but it's similar. So a usability test would be, something where I'm trying to test software and have other people use it, and then I'm recording the information that's coming from that interaction that the user is having with the software. And so this is a template from a usability test and is similar to what you're doing, but obviously it's not the same. So you can't just copy and paste this text. That's not going to be helpful, but hopefully this just gives you a little bit of an idea of what this script could look like. As far as what needs to be in it, I'll run down the list that I have here in Blackboard. You're going to give me one Word document that contains the following content, which is your script. Your script is going to have, at the minimum, 3 different parts. You can obviously add more content as you see fit. It's going to have an introduction where you put into precise words, sentences, paragraphs, what you should say or what you would say to introduce yourself and your project. Let them know that you're in school. Let them know that it's a school project. And just give them a really good explanation for what's going on and why you want to talk to them. You obviously need to have every question that you want to ask, exactly how you want to ask it, not just vague bullet points about what you want to talk about, but really precise what is it that you want to ask them. And then finally in your script, you would put just a thank you and exactly what you would say when you want to say thanks to somebody. So the script is it's literally exactly what you want to say. I don't know how else to say it, but that's what you're trying to do here. Another thing that you need to add to your script would be a list of items needed for the interview. Originally in Blackboard, I was listing off things for you, but I would like you to come up with an idea. If you were sitting down with people, what would you need? One thing I would like you to do is to record it. You can use your phone to record easily. And obviously other things, something to write with, printouts. You can think of the rest of the things that you might need if you were sitting down at a coffee shop to interview somebody. And then the last thing that you need to include in here is a consent form. And I have a link here to usability.gov. And if you go to usability.gov and do a search, you'll start to find various templates. And you'll find a document that you can use as a template. And when you find it, you'll end up with a Microsoft Word doc, I think, that looks sort of like this, probably looks like this. What I would like you to do is take the consent form, customize it to your own needs, and get rid of the branding for usability.gov. So don't just copy and paste this document in there, but make the consent form your own. And you're going to need to get consent for somebody to record them and use their information to move things forward. So the consent form will be a part of that, and you can add that as a separate page at the end of your document. The last thing I have in here is the grading rubric. When you submitted your research plan, a lot of people submitted documents that weren't exactly the most beautiful looking things. So I'm looking for a little more professionalism as we move forward, starting to make our documents look better. Don't make them look like you just made them in the last minute, but actually spend some time formatting it. Use a template in Word or Google Docs or wherever it is you make your documents. That would be certainly fine. So things that I'm looking for, I have 5 things listed here. The document uses logical hierarchy and consistent typography. We're not bouncing around from typeface to typeface. We're showing some awareness and maturity about typography. I realize some of us haven't necessarily taken typography yet, but you can use templates as a guide. Contains a complete script, intro, questions, outro, and the thank you. Contains a list of items needed for your user interviews, like I mentioned above. contains customized consent forms, and the document contains no typos, is well written and polished. So my hope for these documents is that I don't need to push them back to you for refinement because it just doesn't look great, or it doesn't look like you really put some time and effort into it. So give it your best shot and let me know if you have questions.